We are back at the podcast zone at Franchise Expo Charlotte, chatting now with my old friend Tim McCarthy from Rosatis Pizza. What's going on, man?
Hey, Jack. We're talking loud and drawing a crowd in Charlotte.
Love it. It wouldn't be a Franchise Expo without Rosatis Pizza here, so good to see you again. And before we get into the details of the show and your opportunities and everything else going on, tell me about this news out of Chicago this week.
Wow, you heard. Yeah, it's big news. I think, biggest news I've heard in a long time. No, but serious business. There was a March Madness bracket championship, which included 128 iconic and popular pizza chains in the Chicago market, and there were 64 in each bracket, 64 brands, and they announced a winner this past week, and lo and behold, Rosatis finished number one.
Yeah,
beat
nice.
out 127 chains.
Nice.
And that was held by WGN Radio, and it was called the Chicago Pizza Madness Tournament.
Nice. So, for those who don't know, first of all, Chicago pizza is the best pizza. That's number one. And number two, WGN Radio is like an iconic, they've been on the air since the 1920s, I think. This is like a serious topic in Chicago. So this isn't just some stunt that somebody pulled, on a podcast or something like that.
Pizza is a religion in Chicago.
Yeah, you bet it is. Well, congratulations.
I mean,
that's
we're
something.
really proud of, the chain has been in business now for 61 years.
Wow.
That's, a long time, and the economy has been a roller coaster ride over that past 61 years, and all we've done is steadily grow the brand, keeping it small, still family owned, and everything that's made it great is what we are now.
Yeah, a family owned national franchise. Think about that.
Yeah.
There's not too many of those around anymore.
It reminds me a lot of In-N-Out.
Yeah.
They started in their comfort zone on the West Coast. It's family owned. But due to demand, they ventured out of that comfort zone, just like we did.
Yeah. I'm familiar with Rosatis Pizza since I was in high school.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. You want to talk about 100 years ago? But it was, where I grew up around Chicago, it was everywhere.
Right.
And now I see it in places like. You're in Arizona and Georgia and places that let's face it, didn't really have great pizza until Rosatis showed up.
Just sold the first Rosatis for the state of Utah.
Wow.
That is huge.
Congratulations, Utah.
Going into Orem, Utah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that. And, we're kind of joking about it, but that is a pretty big deal for Rosatis to come out number one with all of those great brands. Tell me about what you're doing here at the Franchise Expo Charlotte. It seems like you've been pretty busy over there talking to some candidates and some people who are interested in some opportunities.
Yeah, these franchise expos are such a great opportunity to go face to face with, potential investors, franchisees, and they really take advantage of the one-on-one. You can share with them who you are, what you are, how you got there, where you're going in a short amount of time. And, I find that the people that I meet at the shows circle back. And, they're some of my best leads.
Yeah. Well, if they came out to a nice hotel conference center like this on a Friday afternoon, they're probably pretty serious about wanting to do something different with their life.
That's a really good point, and we were just talking about it over at the booth, because Fridays are a roll of the dice. It's a work day. You know? But the people that we've gotten so far at the booth have been fantastic prospects, filled out applications, engaged in lengthy conversations. We're there to listen and learn, and all day long for us. That's the best kind of lead that we could ever generate.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of food systems out there. There's a lot of pizza systems out there. What is it about Rosatis, other than this great new number one ranking? What is it about Rosatis that you find candidates look at you and say they've got something special and unique?
Yeah.
What is it?
So, there's a wow factor, even though we're 61 years and running. But when I start to talk about the menu, well, the core menu is a reflection of 61 years of bestsellers. Who can say that?
Yeah.
You can walk around this entire expo, count how many companies are 61 years old on one hand, or a few fingers.
I'm looking down the hallway here, and I think I would say it's Rosatis and Dairy Queen.
Yeah, right.
And
That's
everybody else is newer.
Yeah, and so then we like to share how we got to where we're at. We get our Roma tomatoes from Northern California, Napa Valley. Our cheese comes from Wisconsin, a company called Grande. Our dough, it's a mix of winter wheat from the Midwest, the best of the best.
Wow.
And all these combined with execution, we feel we deliver the best pizza there is, as evidenced by our win this past week. So
Nice.
we have a lot going on. In 61 years, we've never been more popular than we are now.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
There's a lot of brands that have been around for a long time, but they're on the downslide right now, right? So it's good to be still climbing after all of those years.
Yeah, I get goosebumps still. When they announced the winner of that WGN pizza tournament, it's like, wow. Think of the brands that were involved. Iconic.
Yeah.
And we took the win, so we're doing something right.
Awesome, great. If people would like to talk to you about an opportunity, where do you like to connect with people outside of an expo, of course? Is it website? Is it LinkedIn? Email? Where do you really like to have those conversations?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that it's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
There's no golden goose, but it all combines to deliver a brand message. And just talking about the contest or the new cities we're going into, and the growth, it's all over the country. It's not just one given market, and a lot of it's word of mouth. Utah people, okay, they got engaged at a Rosatis 20 years ago. All right,
Wow.
And they own a big tech company, and they want to bring Rosatis to Utah.
And where were they, in the Chicago area, or where were they?
They were, yeah. And
Nice.
then they relocated, obviously, years ago. I just got a random call, and they said, wow, we love Rosatis. We got engaged there 20 years ago, and just can't get out of our minds. And there's none in Utah. What do you think? I said, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stories out there. Most of our expansion is due to people that grew up in Chicago, moved to Albuquerque. There's no good pizza here. Call me up. Can I open a Rosatis? Sure, why not?
Yeah. I see that with a lot of brands. I think Rosatis is a perfect fit for that.
Yeah.
When people are moving from the Northeast or the Midwest to the South or the Southwest or wherever, and they're bringing their food with them. So kudos to those operators
right?
that pick up on that.
What's great is when you open in a new city, like when we opened in Cumming, Georgia, first one in Georgia.
Yeah.
A line down the sidewalk of people that were from Chicago.
Yeah. That's a pretty large group these days. People who used to live in Illinois.
Right,
There's a
right,
lot of us,
yeah.
right? So, very good. Tim, if somebody wants to talk about an opportunity, where should they reach you? Website?
So, rosatisfranchising.com. You can fill out a landing form there. 847-915-9174. You can call me or text me anytime. I'm available 24/7.
All right.
But
very good.
again, this is it's really been a thrilling adventure. I've been with Rosatis for 13 years.
Wow.
I've just seen the growth, and we're going into new markets every day. And again, we're 61 years old. Now we're popular.
All right, man. Well, keep up the good work. Good luck for the rest of the show, and we will see you down the road.
Okay. Hey, thank you.